All right, guys. So let's go over the quiz now. All right. So over here, it was write a function that takes three numbers and returns the middle number. Later on in the course, at the basically near the end, we'll be doing sorting algorithms. So this is kind of like a little tiny intro into sorting algorithms. So number one, write a function that takes three numbers, returns the middle number. So function, which we call this middle number, right? So we're taking three numbers, B, C, and you could have done this with an array also, would have been easier. So I'm going to put these arguments into an array. And A, B, C, like that. And then I can return the array sorted. And then how would I get the middle number here? Well, what would I put in these brackets, Rob's row? 1, yeah. Right here. I mean, you could do this in one go also, like, right here. I'm sure there's like a complicated way to do this with the if statements. Sounds terrible. I mean, not terrible as in, like, you know, that's wrong. It just sounds hard. So over here, so let's take a look at what's happening here. So if you have an array, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 9, you could do dot sort, and it sorts it. Later on in the course, you'll learn how to make your own sort method, right? Just to help you think about the process a bit. And then you'll learn also what's happening when this sort method is ran on the array. It's using specific algorithms. And an algorithm is just a function. So this was the key, understanding that there's a sort method. Understand there was a sort method for this problem. Okay, let me take a screenshot of this.
You say writing your own, you mean your own sort method, like is it maybe you want to sort it in reverse or sort it a certain way?
Well, if you wanted to sort in reverse, you could sort it and then do the reverse function on it. So it's that, like, using the core functions, it's always better than writing your own. But when you do write your own, you do learn the logic behind it, and it's really to prepare you for interviews. Well, that's like part of computer science. So that was a dot sort method, and let me just try one more thing. I always forget this part. So 1, 4, 7, 1, right? So if it was sorted, it would be 1, 4, 7. And if I do array.sort, that's what gets returned. But if I look at array again, so I don't have to set array.sort into array. I don't have to override array. When I sort an array, it automatically sorts that array and saves it. So let me take a screenshot of this and show you what I meant. Okay, so right here, background. So if I do var array 1, 5, 4, 7, 1, if I run this, console log array, it's going to look like this. So I don't have to do that. Array equals array.sort. I don't have to do that. You can, and that's what I end up doing most of the time, because I forget that this updates the array. But yeah. Questions on this? A definite flashcard. a definite flashcard, right? Okay, so let's go for this one. Write a function that returns an array of numbers for a given number. So if it was 4, it would return 1, 2, 2, 4. If it was 6, 1, 2, 2, 4, 8, 32. So what's the pattern? Let's go to Aaron and Kristen's row. Excellent. It's multiplying the previous numbers to get the current number. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Over here, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. So understanding that pattern is critical to this, right? So making those observations. And now we could do function. We could do calc. I don't even know how to call this function return pattern. And we're going to take in a for a number. And I'm going to initialize an array here. I'm going to initialize an array, var array 1, 2. And then now what do I do? Let's go to Quasro. For var I equals 1. I less than a. So I plus plus. Great. So R. So we're going to add something into the array right now. So R dot push. I'm going to break this up on 3 lines just to make it easier for everyone to understand what's going on. So var, we'll say last number, and first number. R dot length minus 1, and this would be R dot length minus 2. And then I'll just multiply them, like last number, sec to last num. So this is second to last number, and this is the last number. Push. You can do R of I also. Okay, I'll do that one next. And then over here, so it's I equals 1, but I already have 2 numbers here. So I think I have started 2, right?
No, yeah. That's why I did R of I.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started at 1 because we're like 2, 1. So we're pushing whatever the result of that is to the next.
Mm.
But we need to multiply the current number that we're at, which is 2.
Okay, so let me just see what this returns. Right here. Okay, so if I do 4, 1, 2, 2, 4, 8, yeah, I think 1 for the way I just did it. I'm going to change it to the way you did it right after. One, 2, 4, and then let's do 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, great. So it's not going to work. This isn't going to work in a few circumstances. What circumstances are those? Josh's rep. Yeah, you're right. If it's 1, or if it's 0, or if it's 2, right? It's not going to work for any of those use cases. So over here, what we could say, if A equals 0, return an empty array. Else if A equals 1, and actually, I'm going to wrap it in these curly brackets. A equals 2. And then over here, else. Put put all of this in there. So this way we will only do one thing, right? Because when it goes in here, it's going to check is A equals 0. If A is 0, it's going to stop on this line. It's not going to do anything else. If A equals 1, this isn't true, right? And it's going to go over here. A is 1, so it's going to return this and stop right there, right? So we want it to do the minimum amount of work possible. We don't want it to keep going. So this is one way of doing it. And then Qua, can you actually send out your code? I'll just throw it in. One way. And another way. Thank you. You called it nth random? Nice. Oh, it looks good to me. Okay, you just called it nth random. You don't need any of this, right? No, yeah. It sounds like you did a lot more work than you had to. Okay, so we'll call this, which we'll just call it return pattern. Okay, so I'll just comment this out. So does this work if it was 0? No? Okay, so we just have to change that up a little bit. Right, so we'll just copy this over. Does it work for I equals 1? No? Okay. Got it. So then I'll just cut this stuff and put it in there. Awesome. All right, questions on this one? The same type of thinking was used for what other problem? Fibonacci sequence, right? So I just want you guys to practice those muscles, right? The Fibonacci sequence. I got it on like multiple interviews, so I'm assuming one of you will get it on one interview at least, or some kind of similar problem to this right here. So definitely put this in your flashcards. Practice this. You should the whole art of starting an array with 2 numbers or some numbers, maybe 3 numbers or 4 numbers, and then doing something to the last 2 to create a new one, that should be lightning quick, right? Because you've seen it a few times and you have it in your flashcards, right? And you can practice this before your interview, right? That's a common pattern that people use on these problems. All right, so let me send this out to you guys to go over with one another, make flashcards, and then we'll go into APIs and Ajax. Let me find. Okay, so Sandy, give me a thumbs up when you have it downloaded in Sublime. Oh, cool, thanks. Hey, Sandy, actually, for this exercise, can you move over next to Kristen, just for now? Yeah, thanks. Cool. All right, guys, 10 minutes. I want you to go over this with your partners, right? Play around with the code, make a flashcard, right, on Quizlet. Hopefully it's back up.
Oh, what is this? What is it called?
Did I not? Oh, I did record. Nice. When you're done, make sure you make your flashcards. Yeah, it got really hot, right?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
He was saying it was cold, so I took it off. So now I'm
All right, guys. Hopefully you were able to go over it, make your flashcards. If not, spend some time after class to make those flashcards. Practice these problems. So, has anyone practiced the flashcards? All right, that's awesome. What are you doing? Are you seeing the card and then doing the problem,
Yeah.
and then taking a look at the solution afterwards.
Question on one side, explanation on the other.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
That kind of works with me.
And you're writing your own explanation on the
Yeah.
back? Perfect. Really good. So write your own explanation of the code, right? Don't just take mine and just do it verbatim, right? Write it in your own words, like what it means. And if you practice that every now and then, that's going to really help. And then I overheard you guys talking about Code Wars. Do you like it?
I haven't tried it out yet. My tutor was only just telling me about it last night. But it looks valuable.
Cool. I mean, can you Slack out a link to the students? Yeah. I in the resources one, I sent a playlist right here. So today's class and the next class, you can get some reinforcement from the New Boston. They have a playlist on how to do Ajax. So check that out. Could really help to hear from someone else. Thanks, Kristen. And then check out Code Wars. Let me know how it goes. All right, cool. So last class we went over, what an API is, and we saw like a movie's information right on the page, and we changed the URL and we got different information. So how do we take that information and grab it in our JavaScript, right? How do we take that data and grab it into our JavaScript? So that's what today's class is about. Once you can grab that data, you can build really cool things, right? You can use Spotify's API, you could use PhoneDB, you could use the weather API, basically any data source. And for anyone into fantasy sports, there's fantasydata.com. You can get tons of real-time, not real-time. Real-time if you pay a lot of money, but you do get some data for free. And they told me that they're going to release like a developer package for people later on this year. So there's a lot of places to get cool data. And this code right here lets you harness it. And this is what made Gmail popular. Like back when Gmails came out, it was one of the few email clients that showed you your email in like real time almost, right? So the page didn't have to refresh. It was one of the first ones to do that. So we include jQuery, and Ajax, it's a jQuery function. It's actually part of native JavaScript also, but it's a little bit cumbersome to write. So the way jQuery wrote it is much simpler to use. So this is how you write it. You do $, and what does a $sign signify? Let's go to Ebony's row. What does a $sign signify? jQuery, perfect, right? So this tells us that this is a jQuery function. Go ahead, Rob.
Just go back real quick. So,
yeah.
So for example, the API that's pulling something from data. We're looking at the fantasy thing, right? That's pulling data from somebody else's information, like
Yeah.
database, right? So
Yeah.
They didn't get this didn't make it on their own. They got it from somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know how they got it, right? But if they're getting real-time data, maybe they're scraping it, right? I would assume that's how they're doing it, right? Or they have a deal with NFL, MLB, where they get their data, right? Yeah, I mean, chances are they're probably just scraping it because they're not charging that much money. $50 for, I don't know, this many reports. And the commercial API probably isn't that much more, right? So if you're if you're going to run like a daily fantasy website where you could potentially make thousands of dollars a day, a couple $100 a month is like nothing to get the data. But there is a free option, right? So this is what you do to get the data into your JavaScript, right? You use Ajax. You make an asynchronous call, and we'll see what that means in a second. And we pass an object. How do I know that this is an object, Aaron? Perfect. Curly brackets right here. Yeah. And then how many keys does this object have? Let's go to Josh's row. 2, right? We have URL and method. This one is optional, but I want you guys to get into the habit of writing it. This one's optional only because it defaults to get. Like it knows to do get by default, but later on in Chris, what week are you? 13? 14? Okay, 14. In week 14, you'll change this to post and put in delete, right? In a bit, in like 8 weeks, you'll change this to post, put, and delete. But for now, like this is always going to be get. This is always going to be get for now. And you specify the URL you want to hit to get the data. And if I went to this URL right now, we'll see all this information about this movie. I haven't seen it. Looks good though, or maybe not. I don't know. But right now, I'm going to get all that information, and it's going to go into this response right here. It's going to go into this response, and it'll be an object. It'll be an object because it's an object right here. Right, when I go to this URL, we see this data, and it's an object. So on line 17 right here, it'll also be an object. So let's take a look at what happens. Let me go open this up in the browser. Right, it's an object. If I open it up, we see the same information on the web page right here. So if I wanted to get the actors, I would do response dot actors, right? And it's capital only because the key right here is capital. So if I save this, comment this out, refresh, we have the actors right here, right? So, and now we have this information. And then if I wanted to add this to the page, instead of console logging it, I could do, let's say, $body dot, let's go to Raptura, dot what method, what method in jQuery if I wanted to add the actors to the body tag text. So let's go back, refresh this. There we go. So I mean, pretty simple, right? We're just taking the data, throwing it onto the page. But later on in the class, you'll be creating tables. You'll be creating like a movie experience where people can click on pictures and get information about the movies. And all thanks to just using this URL pattern, right? You're just using this URL pattern. You're putting in the title right here. You're putting in some other information like a short plot, and the most important, the API key. The API key, because this is a paid API, right? So if you don't put in the API key, then you won't be able to use it. Questions on lines 13 through 19. Okay, so let's talk about APIs a little bit more in depth. Now that you guys saw the code, you saw it working, right? Let's talk about like what's happening behind the scenes. So OMDB, they have computers, they have servers, right? Maybe, you know what? I won't say servers. I'll say they have code running on a computer somewhere. This could be AWS, right? Or it could be another provider like Linode or DigitalOcean. These are places where you could store your code online where anyone can get to. So they have their code running on here, and their code has like endpoints, right? The code has endpoints. Where if the user goes to, so if the user goes to a URL, like this, their code will search a database for a movie title of Romancing the Stone and convert the result to JSON and send it back. Right? So it's just a computer somewhere. It's running code, and that code has endpoints in it. Like, what's an endpoint? It's literally like this. It looks like this almost. And you guys will make it. You guys will make your own endpoints in week 13. So this is what's happening on the back end, right? So they have their code running on some computer, and once someone hits this URL, their code's going to search this database for that movie title, and then convert the results into JSON and send it back to the user. And all that will be like 6 or 7 lines of code generally. That's all that this should take, 6 or 7 lines of code. And you guys will do that week 13. So let's say I have 2 Ajax calls right here, or let's do a bunch. So we're doing a few movies, The Revenant, Godfather. I was like, God Fat Her. I was like, I never heard of that movie. Space Jam, and then Boiler Room, and then Inception, The Dark Knight. I was about to say The Dark Knight. So we have a few Ajax queries here. So the first thing that you would expect coming from a normal programming language like Python or Ruby or Java is this code will happen first, and then this code will happen second, and then this code will happen third, et cetera, but non-JavaScript. So let me save that, refresh this page. So looks like Space Jam finished first. And let's see, where is Space Jam? Space Jam is 1, 2, 3. It's the 4th one. It's the 4th one down. And the reason why Space Jam came back first, why? Let's go back over here. If I refresh it now, The Revenant came back first. Yeah, it's out of your control, and it's completely out of your control, and you're completely at the mercy of the server, right? If the server just takes a little bit longer to make this call, to fulfill this request, right? Because whenever you're making an Ajax call, it's like you're just going to that page. It's like you're going to that page in the browser. It's almost like what it's like. And how long that takes to load depends on the server fulfilling that request, right? Like I said before, there's a few lines of code. If the URL comes in, it has to search the database. Let's say the database is getting hit hard, right? Really hard. And then it'll take a little bit longer right then to return, right? Maybe it's organized information in a way that certain movies are going to come back faster than other movies. Yeah, it's completely on their side, and you don't really know which one's going to finish first either, because they're all going to take maybe a microsecond or 2 microseconds or 3 microseconds. You don't know which one's going to finish first.
So you're like appending that or adding that to the HTML
Mhm.
in a certain place on the page, what does that really matter?
It doesn't matter which one finishes first in this case. But if you needed one to finish first and one to finish second, right? How would you architect that? That's what I want you to think about. If you wanted, let's just say you wanted Romancing the Stone to finish first, and then The Revenant to finish second, and then Godfather to finish third, etc., etc. How would you change this code to do that? Don't answer, right? Let me send this to you guys to just explore that with each other while you're going over it. And then it looks like we have a question in the chat. Do developers normally remember these lines of code? Never. Like, no, I don't remember anything. I just go to my previous code. Yeah. Yeah, I just take really good notes. So I remember the things that I did in 2013 because I took good notes, right? I don't remember anything I didn't take notes on, which was pre-2013. Okay. All right, so I just sent out this file. Hey, Derek, give me a thumbs up when you have it downloaded in Sublime Text. Got it? Cool. So 10 minutes, play around with the code, go over it line by line, see if you can change the code so that one finishes after another, guaranteed.
That works. I just want the user ID so Right now, I mean, I create this, I have it. Like, I have it in a form file. Yeah, so you just remove this. There's a lot of text. That's the longest I did. So then remove. You don't have that. So long as I did. And then what you should do. Well, I'm gonna make a pitch sheet. You don't let that pitch here as a creator user, and then as a if you're not talking the array. You can use thresholds for the creator or very top. Say. Yeah.
Yeah, I would get rid of that. Yeah, because you don't need any. As long as you're signed in, you're good. minute left. Yeah, that's a smart way of doing it. Smart way of doing it. I've done that. I've done that for other things. For this, it's weird. Yeah, but I've done that for other things now. So, any ideas? Okay, so what you have to observe right here is this right here, lines 34 to 30, like whatever I just highlighted. This is going to take an unknown amount of time. This takes an unknown amount of time. Right after this finishes, this function executes. So whenever this is done, this function executes right after that, right? So if I wanted this right here to happen right after this, I'm going to comment out thing except for the first two. I'm going to copy this, comment it out, go to the bottom. So if I wanted this ajax call to guaranteed happen after this one, I'm going to cut this and put it inside of the then right there, and then you're done, right? Because right after this happens, this code won't run until this is finished, right? So the issue with stuff like this, though, is that if you need like things to happen one after another, you get this flying V, right? And then it looks terrible. And it's not just aesthetics, but when you edit it, it's just a real pain, right? Because you're either rolling really far, or you can't really read it because it's like, I don't know, it just looks really horrible. So there's a way to go around that. Go over that later on in the course. It's called promises.
So can you re-show what you did?
Absolutely, yeah. So it was like that, and I just cut it and put it right inside of this function. Yeah. So let me just over a bit more just to show what I did. So it's easier to see now. So now it's guaranteed to happen whenever. Cool. All right. Rob, how are you feeling? Oh, no, like, are you hungry? Okay. Let's break. All right. I should have said that. Yeah, I mean, it's still easy, right? Like, if you're saying, like, do this, I mean, we're kind of making this just traditionally, like, if you wanted the behavior of you really changed Whereas here, line 1 you have in line 10. You have it first, right? So which ajax is so yeah. There is a single now with that works like when you do a single way, line 1 happens, line 2, line 3, line 5. And that's the preferred way. It's a lot easier to do it. The JavaScript is and I never really used it in a moment. Hey, yeah, sure. 1 sec. I'm just gonna slack this out.
Okay, so I created empty array.
Nice.
I pushed it on,
Mhm.
and then I was just gonna run through it. But for some reason, this code doesn't run. It should be.
Oh, because you want this to run, right? After all those are done, but you don't know it's going to be
Right.
finished.
So I thought, oh, okay, I'll just make it run a
Perfect.
second. Yeah, but this doesn't work either.
Do 5 seconds.
Oh, it takes that long?
Well, it probably doesn't, but just do it. Oh, and also this should be the function first, and then the time second. Yeah. So maybe the
Wait,
1 second
what?
should
Are you
work.
sure?
Yeah.
Oh, so it would be down here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that was probably it. So go ahead and type in
Is it right here?
comma. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Wait, that's only one.
Did it do it or no?
It did one.
Did one do 5 seconds? Didn't do any?
Oh, it did one too.
Huh.
But these are all loading so fast. Oh, it's looping. Should loop through all of them. And I know that the length of this array is correct because.
How about you comment all out and just console log the length of the array?
Yeah, right, but.
Oh, it is. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I meant like right here. Let me just grab this for a second. So right here, we'll just comment this out.
I'll make sure that it's spelled back.
Exactly.
Because this would always be correct. It's already done.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like you have 6. Interesting. So if you have 6, I equals 0, I less than length, text title. You're pushing the response in. This looks good.
After 5 seconds, only one of them.
Oh, doing body.text, not body.append.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Okay.
God.
Took me a while to look at it. Yeah.
That's 5 seconds off and shop.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Good job.
Yeah.
Great job. Hey.
So how would I use it on my handlebars page?
Your handlebars?
Yeah. I just want to put like
You want to use that? You have to send it. So there is a way of doing app.locals. When you figure this out, just send it out to the team.
at that local.
So there's something called app.locals express. So you can put the session. Oh wow, there's
Are you gonna go over this tomorrow? Or what are we gonna do tomorrow?
Oh,
You guys quiz mode still?
oh no, we're gonna be. I gotta look up what more correctly, but we're going to be doing forms.
Kind of what.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing forms. Probably do the registration form.
Yeah, I got stuck with the form question too.
So I did forms already?
You did, like right before Christmas break,
Yeah, I did. No, wait.
holiday break. Like,
Holiday
We did it like, like you did it for like a class.
Oh no! I'm doing another thing with them. I gotta look at what I did. I think I did an insert.
Will we
and
have
then
time?
I did.
Will we have time for like just general like questions and work before?
Yeah, sure.
It won't be just quiz time.
No, I'm not gonna do a quiz. We're gonna just focus on.
Okay. Yeah, I have another one.
On maybe a delete.
I want to get this
and
sorted
insert.
before I do the other.
Yeah, so you want to look at app.locals. That's true. So you put the user ID in locals, and then you'll have it all throughout.
Then you can kind of call it how like your handlebars or EJS for now.
Yeah, and I actually don't have code on that. So once you get it, it'd be great to send it out to the class and let them know how you used it.
Yeah, and knowing that you can just use that.
Yeah, you can't do it here.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so the hard way is to send that in the handlebars for every single route you want it. But it's silly because you want it.
You could put something in here and then.
You could put something literally at the very top.
And then reference it whenever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have another one with these types. So like my form type is this, but like this is like this. Right. So my form is like that. So I'll come back to it.
Good job. Right.
But it's not working.
Okay.
I'll worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm wearing fucking stuff right now. So
What day today? Today's 22nd. Yeah, until Saturday.
Yeah, so we only have one class to do tomorrow. So let's get most of our answers. I'll look into that for the login. Cool. Thank y'all. Give me some direction.
How's everything? Would you say?
I don't know. Never really.
Okay.
Technically, not
Yeah.
We're just like in group online.
Mm-hmm. And Connor's on your team, right?
Yeah, we're kind of each in our project.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool.
When you were showing us how the ajax request will continue to jQuery, isn't that just way more lines of code in the end if you're trying to just let them work? You have to keep redoing.
Yeah, totally is.
Wouldn't you just have all requests run at the very beginning and then put it into arrays or whatever, and then you can manipulate it however you want after that, instead of doing jQuery line after line after line in order?
No, yeah, I mean that's a way of doing it too. You would use async await. That's the way everyone does it now. Async. There's something called async await, and then there's fetch. People don't use $.ajax anymore. They use something called fetch. Part of JavaScript for now, and they use this thing called async await. So you don't have to do nothing anymore. You just write one line, another line, and then this line is guaranteed to happen first. This line is guaranteed to happen second. But you have to use this thing called async await. It's not in the correct line. Yeah, I can show you an example. Yeah, it's got to be reminded. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Go on.
So I'm gonna study on this piece on my homework. So here's the
Cool.
right now. I'll show you.
Let's go here so it's a bit easier.
So I'll just show you what it looks like right now.
Cool.
So I got that.
Nice.
But so I'll go. Okay, now we've gone past the number, but I can't get it to show.
Wins and losses. You got the hard part done. So show me where that number gets into the page.
So the for generated number, it's added in random number. So this one right here.
So then gems collected, right? Is that the number that? Is that the gems? Yeah, that's gems collected.
Yeah.
I grab this for a second.
Yeah.
Gems collected. This is what I want to look at. Gems collected. Okay, so this is where you're putting the gem. Let's look at that blue. One click. That right there. Okay, cool. So you have to do an if statement. You have to do an if statement right here.
I see.
So if we're over, I'm going to just write in plain English. If we're over the number we're supposed to be guessing, and if we're not And then we could do this.
Else.
Exactly. And then we could do else. Maybe loss. Or we could do an where less than else we guessed it. And then we'll do another one. Else we're over actually. Else we're if we're over. And then code. And then you would just repeat that process over there. Exactly. And this is where you would increment the wins, and this is where you would losses.
Okay.
Yeah, great job, guys. Looks good.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. And don't forget to give it your own spin, just like your own graphics or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to.
Get the code down.
Yeah, I wanted to go down, but I started to spend a little too much time on the CS. Well, I mean, I put in track, but I thought that would speed things up a little. It doesn't look
with games, like it's probably better.
Yeah.
Because it'll just make it harder.
Yeah, but I just was like, Bootstrap makes it look better.
Yeah, generally, like you just put it in, and then it's better than one.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Man. Okay. All right. Just for your resource, not for. So Veronica posted the week 5 homework. I know some of you are still working on the week 4, the RPG game and the crystal collector, but if you did finish the week 5 homework, is right for you. In the general channel, there is a picture, and what I want you guys to do in groups, definitely groups, if you can, would love for you to work with someone else on this, or 3 people. I want you to make ajax calls to make a table, right? So the base of the table on the page, but these rows you have to create manually and add to all. Right? So you're making this table with the ajax queries. So you could use this code to help you make those ajax queries. It doesn't have to be in this order, whatever order, but add 4 different movies onto the page. And it doesn't have to be these either. Do whatever movies you want. All right, so 20 minutes, right? You're doing this from scratch. Sandy, would love for you to move over there. Yeah, you can move wherever you want.
Okay.
Maybe you can move with Qua. Qua's room? Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Hey, Qua. Aaron's coming. Yeah. Hey, Janak, so you can look at the previous file. Yeah, so look at that multiple Ajax call file. Yeah, but you can make an Ajax call per row, or you can make function, right? So try your best. And if you're online, if you want, you can jump into this room if you're online and share your screen. You can work together. Yeah, Fernando, you could jump into this room. You should see a pop-up in Zoom. Talk's in the room right now, guys. Yeah, just go ahead to your screen. Cool.
Hey, Vaughn, question.
What's up?
My computer crashed. How do you get back into the breakout room?
Yeah, so yeah, just see a pop up now.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem, man. What's up? Oh, that picture. There's a table. There's a picture inside general, and just like that, guys, take a look at the picture in general. That's what you're doing. Interesting. Save. So, 10 minutes left.
Sorry to bug you again. Hold on.
No worries. What's up?
I crashed again.
Yeah, I think it might be your operating system.
It happened as soon as I ended my screen sharing.
Okay, let me see here. Can I? I can't get to the bathrooms for give me 1 second. There we go.
Sorry.
Huh. Why can't I get to the breakout rooms? I'm clicking the breakout rooms. I can't. Oh, man. Super strange, Fernando. I just can't. You are here. Weird.
Yeah. It's cool. They're sending me the HTML snippets because I told them.
I just made you a co-host. Can you try joining?
Let's see.
Click breakout rooms.
I don't even see breakout rooms.
Yeah, for whatever reason, whenever I click breakout rooms, I don't see anything. Yeah, it's not letting me. I see the red.
It's fine.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, that's okay. Sorry about this. It's my bad.
Here, see, I don't want to leave the meeting.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's fine. It's fine. We're doing it through Slack anyway, so.
Oh wait, I see it now. It was on the other screen. Go ahead.
Thanks.
No problem. Okay, I could do a few more minutes and still finish all the activities. So raise your hand if you want a few more. All right, definitely. 5? Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to go over it right now so we can move on to our next activity. All right, so let's scaffold some HTML. HTML tab, make a script tag. I'm going to go grab jQuery. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to go find the ajax call that we made earlier. Copy one, just make sure it works. And then if it does, then we'll move on. So I'll do $body .html. Just see if this works. I'll do append. So it looks like that didn't do what I wanted. I'll just do console log, see if this works. All right, good. So we have, what movie is this? Inception, yeah. Cool. So we have this right here. Now we need to like add it to the page, right? We need to have a table and then add it to the page. We can make part of the table here, or we could make everything here. So I'll make everything here. So var table equals, so if I wanted to make a table, let's go to Sandy's row, what would I put in here? I want to make a brand new table. Excellent, right? Angle brackets. So this is right. It's going to look like that. Right now, it's not on the page yet. This is not on the page yet. And now I'm going to make, this kind of sucks, T head, right? So I'm going to make a T headed and $T head. And this is going to be the same thing. Right, so now I need to make a row inside my head with all the column headers, So over here, tr, so what I'll do is I'll just indent this over so you see what goes inside what. So this table row is going to go inside this T head. And then we're going to need some columns over here. So let's take a look at the picture. We have movie name, year, and actors. So we have 3 columns, movie name, year, and actors. So let's go back. So I'm going to make a TH. And the text inside will be movie name. Make this a little bit smaller. We just have to do that 2 more times. So TH, we'll make this THM. And what was the other one? TH here, thank you. And then I'll just copy this over. And what is it? Actors, awesome. And then I want to take all of this and put it inside of my table row. So we'll do table row dot append THM. And I think you could just do all of them in one go. So now it's going to look like this. I'll do this on multiple lines. Movie name. And this is here. And this is actors. So this is what the TR looks like right now. And then I'm going to take this TR and put it inside the T head. I'm just doing this the hardest way possible for your benefit, and then I'll do it the easier way right after this. All right, and then we're going to take the TR and add it into the T head. So T head dot append TR. You could do .html also, either one works. Or actually, no, not, I don't think HTML works. I think only append or prepend works. Okay, so now the T head has the TR, right? And now I have to append the T head to the table. So I'll do table.append T head. And just to test it out, I'll throw the table onto the page just to see if this worked. So I'll go back, refresh. So we see all of our work paid off. Maybe not, because that was a lot. But we have our table, a T head, a TR, and 3 THs inside. And now I have to make a T body. And I'm going to make a T body and put all the rows inside of it, right? And then put that T body into the table. So this part right here, appending the table to the body, I'm going to wait to do that. I'm not going to do that right now. So we have this ajax query. And this ajax query, what we'll do inside is we'll make a row, a brand new row. So let's go to Ebony's row. How would I make? I'm going to make var tr right here. How would I make a brand new row? I'm going to do $, brackets, excellent, and then tr, great. So tr, and then inside that tr, I'm going to have 3 table dimensions, right? 3 columns. The first one's a movie name. So we're going to make a new, maybe I can just copy over these, change this up to be TD. And same thing over here. And then instead of movie name, it's going to be response dot title. Great, thank you. And then for the next one, response dot year. And for the last one, actors. Great. And then right after this, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Anything, yeah. Can be anything. Generally, it's response because that's you make a request to the server and then you get a response. That's terminology. But yeah, this word response can be anything because it's a function argument. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing because this function, you're like expecting the data to be there, right? And then you're passing this function and you're saying whenever my request to this URL is finished, just execute this function, and whatever I get back from the server, I want that available inside this argument right here. Like you don't know what that's going to be right now. You have a good idea as a developer, but you don't know exactly what it's going to be right at this moment when you write this, right? Yeah, it's like a weird situation where you're taking an argument and you're passing that function and the argument, and you're waiting for that data to be filled in. You're going to be doing this a lot. So it's not just today. You're going to be doing this a ton. And over time, you'll get really used to it. And we didn't do a formal callback lesson yet. We'll be doing a formal callback lesson where we see a lot of this, a ton of this. So now I need to add in these table dimensions to this row, which is not yet on the page yet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a brand new tag, right? Var tbody. And I'm going to append this row into this tbody. And then take the tbody and put it back into the table. And then append the table to the page. Right? So long way, right? And if you're thinking like, why would you ever do it this way? Let's say you had to make 5 tables, or let's say 25 tables, right? Or maybe an unknown number of tables on the page, depending on whatever the server data comes back as, right? Then you're going to have to do it this way, right? You can't just model the HTML on the page. You're going to have to like dynamically create all the elements, right? You have to dynamically, let's say Spotify API, and there's a band, 9 albums. You want to display all 9 albums. You can't just predict how many albums they're going to be, because if you change to a different artist, they might not have 9 albums, right? So going about this way is tough and doesn't make sense for this problem, but for a tougher one, it would. Okay, so now, after I get this TR populated, I'm going to take the T body, append the TR in, and then append the T body into the table. And then right here, I'm going to put the table into the body. And then step by step, we're just building a table, right? A table has a T head and a T body. Inside the T head, there's 1 row, typically, right, for the column names. And then the T body, you have all the other rows, right? That's all the table is. And then let's just see if this worked. And if it did, then we can add in more movies. Great. So wait, did that work? It looks terrible, but it worked. Yeah, it looks terrible, but it worked. Wait, we have the movie name, Inception, year is 2010, and actors right here.
Yeah, why isn't actors to the left? Like Leonardo.
I didn't use Bootstrap. Yeah, that's the answer to that question. I can make it better. Let me see. Where did we do Bootstrap? Okay, let's find that CSS. Great. Copy that over. And then class table. So my table, where did I do that? Dot add class table. And then it's going to have the stylings from Bootstrap. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, much better. Great. So now that this worked right here, I'm gonna wrap this up into a function. So I'm gonna throw this into a function. Function add movie row. Cut this out, throw this in here. And I'm gonna take in an argument of a movie. So I'll do M. And then instead of Inception right here, I'm going to add the movie in. So it's going to be whatever movie that we pass into this function, we're going to create a row and add it to the page. The thing is, this function isn't completely good yet, right? Because I'm appending the row to the T body and the T body to the table and then the table to the body of the page. So I need to take this stuff out, right? I need to take this stuff out because I don't want it to be done. I want this to happen at the very end. Okay. So I have my function, and so I'm going to call this on Inception, and then Lion King, Mr. Nobody. If you watch that movie, don't watch it. It will mess you up. Mr. Nobody, Home Alone, Home Alone 2. I think there's like 5 of them. Okay, so this does have some problems. right? The problems with this, the problem with this is that we don't know when all these will be done. So we could put this in a set timeout, right? That's one way of dealing with it for the time being. So I could do a set timeout. Take this. It's not the best way, but it's a way of dealing with it right now. And I'll just wait 1 second. So now let's try it out. All right, and it should be a different order each time. Yeah. And we could say, I could have a word right here. I could say div loading. And over here, the first thing I could do is find that div, and I could say hide. So then on the page, when the page loads, it says loading. Cool. So that was the hard way of doing it, right? Where we create every element, and the only thing we have on our page here is loading. And even that we could create too, but let's go back, review what I just did, right? So Josh's row. Can you guys go over lines 12 through 26?
Create a variable title table.
Mm-hmm.
Added a class to a title table. You created a table head, T-head, that in there, and then table row. You do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
How far you want me to go?
All the way down right here, yeah.
And then 3 more variables with named THM, THY, THA, and those throw in the table headers, and that's where you have the text and you name it.
Excellent, perfect, right? Right here, we're just making the T-head part. Like all of this code right here, and I guess you could say lines 12 through 36, we're just doing this part of the code. Making that part of the code is lines 12 through 36. And then the body, all this stuff, the most important part, all this stuff is happening from here down, right? This is where we're populating the body. So let me write that down. From here down, we're putting the movie rows into the table. And from here down, we're doing the top header of the table. Tough, right? But I'll do one more example with the table like kind of pre-made. So that one should be a lot easier. So let me go back over. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Which line?
Down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Down, top. 46, the like space plus M
Mm-hmm.
plus, how does that work exactly?
Yeah, it's just a string. So over here, let me go over here to the.
Oh, so you ended the string, then you just did, well, okay.
So and then see Titanic.
Yeah, so how did it know to, like we did, like Mr. Nobody, how did it know to put a plus?
It's so weird. It just works. It is so weird. Yeah, I thought it would break too, but it didn't. There's a function that you can use to replace, called .replace. You can replace the spaces with pluses, but I don't know. We didn't need it here, surprisingly. Good catch. All right, so we'll do another one right now that's a lot simpler. This is 06. No, wait. So over here, we will make the table ourselves, right? Movie name, year, actors, and then over here, make the T-body. So now we just have to populate this T-body, right? That's it. So we don't need the set timeout. We just need, we don't need the T-body part. We don't need any of this. And we just need this stuff right here. And this T-body, I just need to do that because we're selecting. We're selecting the T-body on the page. So we can reduce the code significantly, but it only works for one table, whereas the previous code, we're creating a table dynamically and adding it to the page. And you could further put that into a function and then make as many tables as you need to on the page. So let's take a look at this one. Same thing. And then the table, if I just add a class, a table, then it's going to use this style sheet from Bootstrap. Make it look nice. All right, so let me send this to you guys. And we'll have one more activity. And this one will go over where's Slack? Okay, right here. Definitely a challenge. I totally understand if you were lost throughout part of it. This is definitely something you practice, right? This is going to get you ready to deal with any API, right? Because this is what essentially you're going to be focusing on for your career. You're going to be hitting a data source and you're going to be making elements onto the page. Mary, give me a thumbs up when you have both downloaded in Sublime. Oh, you got them? Okay, cool. So we'll do 10 minutes. And then we'll start another activity.
Yeah, well, and that's essentially because I go to going to the small business and have to run through all the I guess you could do that. Well, you would still have to you still have to manually tell it. But I think like I'm sorry, which I think
we will over here. So if I pass it, so it's just, we're doing
yeah, so I just need to
that's why that's why that's what we're doing.
Yeah, but like,
The only reason why it has that is
yeah, and I only just started writing and I try to find myself like I didn't know I did before. Shame of it. I was gonna say, or maybe she liked mine.
First it was this. First it was this. And then right here. It's not only and then here, all this and we're taking this row, it looks like this, we're putting it inside the head, and we made it up. That's why it looks like this. Then, the sheet of head, that looks like this, we're putting inside her table. It's like this, but now it's like this. Right, so we're constantly adding on to it. And then we're making a T-body, and this T-body is all like it. And then we're making this row and adding the T-body, and then that T-body eventually exactly what you're constantly adding on. You have to understand that when you're like,
All right, guys. So definitely challenge. The first one I did was definitely challenging. So I sat down with Will's Row and I commented it out a lot more. So I'm just going to update my file with that right here. So what I did was like, what does the table look like? Right? What does this table variable look like? It looks like this. So after this code runs, this variable, it's almost like it has this inside of it, right? A table tag with class of table, and it's not on the page yet. And then when I make the t head like this, it looks like this. When I make the tr like this, it looks like this. When I make the th, it looks like this. And then after I append each one in, that's what the tr looks like now. Right, so I just slowly showed what each tag looks like after each line of code happened right here. So hopefully that helps. And I just want to remind you guys, if there is a line of code that you don't understand, please message me, right? Or just message a general channel. Just take a screenshot and be like, what's happening here, right? If you don't understand it, then you can't build on it. So don't just ignore a misunderstanding, right? Just please bring it up as soon as you can. Okay, so the next activity, which I'm gonna let you guys work on until Thursday, is a Giphy exercise. Right, so this, what the hell is that? Okay, I took it. I have some malware on my computer, so that wasn't it though. Damn it. In 1 second. That's not what you're doing. All right. That's not. I just showed you guys a bunch of things I shouldn't have, but it doesn't matter. I don't care about them. Let's see. So these are all the trending GIFs from Giphy. Do you guys know who this is? Nathan Fielder. Okay, but he's amazing. He has a show on Comedy Central called Nathan for You, and it's phenomenal. It's just amazing. You guys are, I'm so jealous because you haven't seen it yet. It's so good. Okay, well, I don't need to be looking through all these. I'm sorry. Let me just take a screenshot. And so that's what you guys are going to be doing. But here's the URL with all the data. Right, so all the data is right here. All you have to do is make one ajax query, right? Just one ajax query. In that ajax query, you have to deal with this and make images for each trending GIF. Right, so you have to find the GIF first. You have to find the image inside of here, right? So over here, there's data. Inside of data, there's images. I'm going to stop, right, because you can find the image from there. Once you think you've found the image, you should click on the image and make sure it is the image, right? Before you write any code, just find the image, right, and then click on the image and make sure it is the image. And then go do your Ajax queries. Okay? Okay. Cool. And if you're looking for a new TV show, definitely Nathan for You. Just Such a great show.
Right, just go to that URL, find an image. Once you find an image, then you're good to go. Then you can just go. So we go back to where the JSON is. So you're gonna find that image somewhere. Okay, so that's the URL to the page. So guys, the URL to Giphy is not what you want. You want the actual Git link. So over here, go back to the now you're just gonna find the actual. So that was the Giphy page. So scroll down. This gives you, so then this gives you. So now make a ajax your. So you don't want to save this. Because you're gonna dynamically do it, right? With your dollar sign, triangle bracket, with this wall. You're gonna take rid of all this stuff. Because you want this to work tomorrow, the day after. Without you modifying. You could use it before, but there's another way. adventure man is better. But if it's like comparing a lot of these and that yeah, Future Man. And they even mentioned your on there. Right, on there, they're like, it's not like financially, right? But in terms of the number of transactions. I have, that's just great, that's where I like reading. Yes. My friend likes. And you can use that.
It's okay.
One more question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I'm gonna keep practicing on this
That's
later on.
amazing.
So, I was playing with the audio today, right?
Mhm.
So pretty much when you choose your, pretty much when you're, when you,
This looks so good, man. You did a really good job. Wow.
when you choose song from song, right? But after adding this song, like everything is responsive still. Where this came from?
Okay, let's see.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's fixable. Like I don't know what I
Yeah,
do.
without a doubt.
Just because I was not like that when I got home. So I don't know if I ended up moving something by accident or what. Because the song I pretty much found online, recorded from one phone to the other, and then just started it.
What browser were you looking at that on?
For the
Oh, it's right here.
yeah.
So, I think you're giving it a height somewhere. Yeah, you're giving it a mid height of 1. There's something happening here.
Because like the last things I did was the song, so the audio file,
Interesting. So you position
and
it.
balance in and out effect that you see when the new player is selected.
Now, Veronica's like 100 times better at CSS than I am, so she'll be able to find the error faster. I could say, give me a minute.
Yeah.
Hey guys, really quick, I just want to summarize class today. So one we hit API, right? So which API did we hit today, Rob? OMDB, perfect. OMDB API, right? And another word for hit starts with an R-E, request, right? Right, that's technical. This is the technical term. And after we hit the OMDB API, we got a response. Awesome. Right. For which method did we use to make an API request? Ajax. So it's $.ajax. Excellent. Right. And then 5 Ajax calls are asynchronous, which means they take a variable amount of time. Right, so that was today's lesson. If this is what you understood, that's good. Code will come in time with a bit of practice, right? So we have a homework assignment where you use it, and then you have a whole project that's coming up soon where you're going to work with a team of people on using all this stuff. So you'll be forced to be good at it because you have to, right? To be able to do that, to be able to complete a project, you just have to do this. So you will get good at this because you have to use it. Okay, cool. So keep working on the Giphy exercise, which was right here. I'm going to send all this to you guys, right? Keep working on this over it first thing on Saturday. I mean, Thursday. Saturday, we're going to go Firebase. So how do you keep your data saved? So if you have, like, let's say 5 rows of movies, right? Or 100 rows of movies, and you want someone to come to that page tomorrow and have the same 100 movies on the page, how do you keep that saved? Or how do you take in data and save that data and show it consistently? We'll go over that on Saturday. I'm going to Slack out all the code. Hey, Will, just hang out. Just go to Veronica real quick. She'll help you with that.
If you go down, they turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt.
Sorry about this is about the trivia homework,
Sure.
the homework 5.
Mhm.
So the problem I'm having, well, I have 2 problems. One major, one